Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're doing well. So it is Saturday and I haven't yet done my making something with my second-hand haul goodies from last week. So last week I managed to pick up these silver buttons, which I love. And I thought I'd better do something with those. So I might try and make a few tags and then add some of the buttons to the tags. We'll see how we go. I really have no idea what I'm doing here. So I've got this, it's some packaging. I think it's matte on one side and glossy on the other side. I think I'll cover the glossy side if I can. So I thought I might start with some gesso. So I've just got some Montmartre gesso here. So I'm just going to apply that roughly. It goes a long way, this stuff. I always forget how far it goes and usually get out too much. Now, I don't care if it's a bit rough because I want to add a bit of texture to these tags. But I do want to sort of try and I'm going to make a big mess of this. Starting to dry already. All right, that'll do. So yeah, there are some rough bits, but I don't mind that because, as I said, I do want to add some texture to these as well. Just get that bit coated. There were a few marks that showed through. I think that's a bit of fluff or something. I'll get that off. All right, that's looking a bit better. So I'm going to let that dry now before we do the next step. Okay, so now I want to add a bit of texture. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I've got this mesh that I got from the op shop. I think I got some green stuff and some gold stuff, which would be great to add to journaling cards and tags just as it is. But I thought I might try using it as a stencil. It's quite fine, so I don't know if it's going to work that well. But I really don't care if it ends up a big mess. I don't care as long as there's texture. Basically just having a bit of a play around. Why not? That's what I feel like doing. So I've got my Deco Art Dimensional Effects texture paste here. And I just want to get a little bit onto my, I was going to say spatula then, you know that thing. I usually know what they're called, but not today, obviously. Palette knife thing. And I'm just going to scrape that through in a few areas. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. I like it when things work. Doesn't happen very often for me. Especially not with this stuff. Well, that was a good idea, wasn't it? It's a bit lumpy there, but that does not matter. I think that'll do for that side. I'm going to make 2 tags out of this, so I'm sort of thinking of where I want the texture on the 2 tags. So I might just find my, where did I put it in my drawer? My baby wipes. Wipe this down a bit, although I will keep this bit as a stencil, I think, because that works so nicely. Now, also we'll get a bit more on just here and there. Now I've got a bit of sponge and I don't know what it'll do. I might just smooth that out a bit. maybe a sponge that has more texture would be better, but I think that'll be all right. I'm just like roughening it up around the place. Could even just do lines and squiggles with my spatula thing if I wanted. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad actually. Probably should have done this part before I did my little circles, but that's all right. So I'm not very experienced with all this sort of stuff, so. I suppose you learn from doing. Now, I think that'll do. So that's going to take a while to dry, so I'll do some other stuff for the afternoon and come back and get on with colouring that up a bit. Okay, so I've let my texture paste dry for the afternoon. I'm pretty well dry. Yeah, it seems pretty dry. Might just pick that bit off because it's real bumpy. I mean, it's meant to be bumpy, but you know what I mean. So that's looking pretty cool, I think. All my rough splatter around there. So now I want to get some colour on that. So what I've done is grabbed 3 colours. I'm not sure which of them I will use. These are faux cut paints that I got off of Marketplace. And I need to, I've given them a bit of a shake. I'll give them a bit more of a shake because when I've used some of them before, they've been really watery. So I don't know how these are going to come out. But I've got a dark grey, which doesn't shake at all, which has me quite worried. It is brand new, but yeah, they haven't been used much at all. I've got a French blue and a navy blue. So those two shake. Whether they mix, I don't know. So we'll see how we go. So I've got them. I've got my paintbrush. I'll show you everything while I'm shaking it. It's always dangerous when you see me grab a paintbrush. I've got a water to wash my paintbrush in. I have a spray bottle for extra water that I might need. I think that's all I wanted for this. So I've got the blues. Let's just take the cover off of this and see if we can get it moving at all. Don't know what I'm going to see. Oh yeah. I think it's in one big glob, like jelly. It should shake. Might have to get a skewer in there and give it a bit of a mix. Which I think I might do. So I'll just move that out of the way. See if we can get this moving a bit. And emulsifying, if that's the right word. Don't want to waste any of the colour. Not that I know what I'll do with that colour. Ooh. I don't even call that a grey. I suppose it is dark grey. It's sort of got brownie notes in it. It's shaken up a bit now, so that's good. We know the colour works all right. So I think we'll get a bit of each colour out into this palette. Not sure where I got this from. I don't know whether it was my daughter's or I got it from a secondhand shop, but I did not leave it in that mess. I clean these things. I don't clean the rest of my house, but I do clean my art supplies. Priorities, right? So put this in one of the blue ones. That's coming out all right. Quite a nice colour, that one. Yep. And our grey. Will it come out? Oh, yeah, it certainly did. Now I'm going to add a bit of water to these, I think. And then I'm just going to have a bit of fun and make a mess, no doubt. So I think I will start with the dark blue. Give it a bit of a mix. I might even try, I don't know if this will work. It's not really watery enough, I don't think. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's quite nice. Let's let it drip. Actually, I can drip it into the tray, can't I? There's a nice effect. I've never done this before, so don't mind me. Some paper here, I just want to... I make the biggest mess, don't I tell you? Now I think I'll just leave that up there to dry a bit. I think it would be best to let that dry, and then I might do get some of the other colour on. I'm just going to let it dry a little bit so the rivulets aren't so wet in that, I think. Okay, I looked for my heat gun everywhere, could not find it because I was cleaning up as usual, and I put it somewhere appropriate and now can't find it. But I did use the heater and just dried it off a little bit, so now I might try some of this lighter blue. And that's quite runny, so I just want to put some of that down. See, it's almost the same colour really. Oh, and the lid's on. I kind of like that though. See, while it's wet down there, I'm going to go back in with the dark blue. Just get some of that on those lumps. Just playing around with the little drippy bits, so it'll be a bit hard for you to see. Don't know if that's going to run much. Get some more of the dark. I'm just making the drips run around the edge at the moment. Border it a little bit. Yeah, I really like that actually, that's looking good. So now I might work on getting a bit of grey on there. Trying not to get too much colour on the other side because that's where I want my where I want to leave journaling space, but I can always stick paper on there if I need to. I'm just going to move that. Scoop up some of this. Getting it all over my mat. It's fun having a messy time though. I haven't done this for ages. Haven't done much for ages as far as crafting. Other than I am making a journal at the moment, but I'm thinking I might give this just a little bit of a dry as well. Okay, so I think that's dry enough now to put some of the grey on. So, might go in, some up here I think, and up there. I sort of don't, it's a bit too watery for my liking. That's alright though. Run it down those sides. Let's just get a bit more colour in there. I'm going to play with this a bit. Okay, that's not too bad. And I want a bit down here. A bit more up there. Actually, that's settling quite nicely. This paper's taken a beating from the water, that's for sure. That's doing well though. Just while it's really wet, I'm moving the colour around where I want it. I think that's almost what I want. Okay, so I think my cardstock is dry enough to start working with. It's flattened itself out a little bit. It still is quite damp, but see how we go. I want to cut it down into 2 tags. So I'll whack it under here. Try and get it somewhat straight. I think I'm looking at about, doesn't matter if they're not even. About there, I reckon. It's not too bad. Put that away. And I've got to decide whether I leave them rectangular like this or cut them into tag shapes. Now what I've done is I found some Tim Holtz people. I have a stack of them here that I never use, and I know why. I don't really like them much and they're creepy. But anyway, I have grabbed some, so I'm thinking about him maybe. It's a good excuse to use them up. And then I've got either her or quite like those two, so I might do that. Now, I could swap them over to we'll see. Put these ones away. Just want to double check that the colour's the way I want it. Kind of looks nice like that too. maybe we will have the blue up near the top. Now, I think I will cut them down like tags. Now I'm thinking maybe we'll swap them back and have him that way. There is method to my madness here, because what I have is some of this material and I'd like to put some of that on, and this is where the buttons come in. So I want to put some down the side here with some of the buttons on. So that's why I think this side's good, because it's quite flat down there. So we might not cut him into a tag shape. That's not going to rip, so I'll just cut that. Want it a bit thinner, about halfway. Now, no, it does rip, you've just got to get a firm grip on it. So that's going to be on there. Once we stick it down, we should be able to get it flat. We've warped it a bit with pulling it so hard. And then on that, I want to put my buttons. So I've got a whole heap of them here. So this is the part that I got from the second-hand shop. So what I'm actually doing is, which I forgot to say, is for one of the challenges this month in Paper Possibilities Crazy Crafters is to use buttons. So I'm satisfying that challenge, but I'm also satisfying the make something with something from my second-hand haul for the week by using these particular buttons. Ever since I bought them, I wanted to use them and I couldn't think of how I wanted to use them. I know there's heaps of ways I can use them. My brain just wasn't working. Then I thought of doing this and I thought, well, I'll give it a go, just something different. I think I liked it with the 4. So I might do that. And then for this one, I did find a few bigger ones in here. I'm thinking of using it up there and having some of this material through it as a tie. So quite simple, but it was a fun background to make. Of course, I probably should have collaged a bit underneath. That would have added some interest. A bit of stamping maybe wouldn't go astray too. So maybe we'll do that. But first what I might do is sew my buttons on here. They almost look cool going different directions. Why do I always make things more difficult than they have to be? Or do we want them all the same? Maybe all the same. All right, tell you what, this place sucks. It's not me, it's this place, because I can't find a simple needle when I needle one. So I need to organise myself and it never happens. So this would have to have one that I can use. It's just getting out the particular one that you want to use. Looks like it hasn't even been opened. I can try. I've just got, cross-stitch embroidery thread here. That shall do, hopefully. I'm just going to use one strand of that. Now this is the hard part. because I don't have my glasses. Now I might put a knot in the bottom of it. And 10. A couple of knots that I'm trying to bring together. It's done it. All right, let's sew these on. Start with this one. Now I'm going to stick it down, which will help hold the cotton as well. So I'll just go around them a few times. Got a big knot in my there. So that was 4 times. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'll just untwist that a bit. Decide where we want our next one. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to run it up the back to the next one. Try not to pull too hard or it will gather. So I'll just finish sewing the last 2 of these after this one, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I did finish sewing my little strip here with my buttons on. So that will sit on there. And I also have this piece which might be good enough to put on the top of that one. Just get some of these threads off. That's better. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting a hole through. It doesn't need a hole through. I could just whip that through and then stick it on. I think I'll put a hole through and play around with it anyway and figure it out as we go. So there's a hole. Now, I reckon I want to ink as well, so I will grab my black ink. So I'll have to use one of these. Haven't used one of these for ages. Yeah, I think black's going to be the best for this. Okay, and then we're thinking of maybe just a tad of stamping. Nice. Now, I'm not sure if I've turned this one around, I think. Yeah. That'll do. Okay, so I think they're ready to go now. So first I might stick on my buttons. So I need a bit of glue to hold that down because it's quite heavy. Now I'll let that all dry, and then if I'm worried about it I can stick these down with a finer bit of glue. Yeah, that's nice, overhanging just a little bit like that. I could do with a word or something too. Let me have a look what I've got. So I do have me Timmy Holtz here. Do your best. Don't know if I want white or black. Kind of like that white one. But again, it would need some inking. It looks like it's leaning on something. Okay, let's put him on. Just stick these little bits down a bit better. Oh, I like that. Look at that, getting arty. So leave that one to dry and we'll figure out what we're doing with this one next. So I suppose I better put a word somewhere for these two as well. Maybe adventure awaits you. Will do. It's good to use some of these up. Oh, I keep forgetting I've got them, so maybe up there. Just cut it down a little bit. on. Got a bit of glue there. Yeah. Now, still got room for a button there. Trying to figure out which is the right way. I don't think it really matters. So I think I want to stick it through like that. This end's a bit thicker, which makes it a little difficult. I think I wanted it like that. Now it does look good just sitting on top, or see, we could thread one through, then tie it and then stick the button, or we could thread both through. I do like it just sitting like that. Let's see what happens when we thread them through. You know what I'm like with decisions? 10 hours later, just be thankful I edit. That's all I can say. Some people are like, oh, why do you edit? You don't need to edit, and you should show the real you. Yeah, hang on, I don't think anyone wants to sit there for 10 hours while I think about this stuff. That looks good too. I'm going to do that. It sits a bit better. So I'll stick the button down and then I'll just tidy these bits up, I think. So we will get glue around the button and on that bit there. Close the bottle real quick and get rid of the glue that's going to go everywhere all over it and ruin it. Now, if I'm careful, I should be able to just flick this over like that without getting glue everywhere. So that's going to need a bit of time to dry. I just want to try and remove some of this glue. That's a bit better. It's looking pretty cool. So I'll just chop this, picking up the skewer as well. So clumsy. Oh, I love it. That looks really cool. I'm so proud of myself. Sorry, I never know if anything's going to work, and I'm really happy with them because it's a lot of stuff I haven't done before. So I really love, my favourite thing I would have to say is using this as a stencil for the texture paste. That just worked out awesome. So that was a great investment, because you just need to keep that little bit, you know, and I can just use that over and over again as a stencil, and I can use the rest to put on mixed media projects and tags and that. I think it will look cool. So yeah, I think that's it. That is my buttons for my challenge, and it is also using up something that I got in my secondhand haul. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, watching me muddle along, making a big mess, but it did turn out all right in the end, and I'm really proud of that. So, take care of yourselves, be good, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.